I know that you are a very great mom and that you take care of 5 children on your own. You have to provide them morally, spiritually, and also give them education, and also give them the direction of life. And at the same time, you're also a working mom. And I know that you are very successful as a employee. Very, very successful, because I can see that you are very responsible and you're working throughout the days, sometimes into the nights. So, as a woman who's taking care of all these children and also being a young grandmother, as a friend, I'd like you to share some of these aspirations you have in the future for your grandchildren, your children who's now married, and also some of the struggles that you had that you think the younger generation can learn something from you. What would you say?
Okay, actually, yeah, I didn't prepare any script, so I'll just speak, whatever that comes, to my memory. Really recalling back, it's really not easy for me. Well, it's not a matter of like, what our ancestors, the set of problems that they have in the past. I think for them would be more of like, deprivation of food or even shelter. But when coming to my generation, right, it was a time when children, they are trying to get, that kind of like recognition, and they try to be independent. Well, but for me is I belong to the type of mothers that like to kind of like to instill, my own ideas, my own values, onto my children. And I expect them, to be very much like me. Because perhaps I have to relate a bit, of my own family. Well, in this family, I'm considered as the eldest, even though I have 5 half sisters and 3 half brothers whom I really love and respected very much. But in this family, I'm the eldest sister. So automatically I don't have to put my parents, in a position where they have to worry about me. So everything is a lot of initiative, that's what I would say. Well, the burden is also there that I have to, to be a filial daughter, and also at the same time to set a good example, to my brothers and sisters. And I actually started working at a very young age. If I'm not mistaken, I started working when I was in primary school. So during the weekends, I'll be, packing chilies, in the farm. Well, just to relate a little bit, at first, in my mind, I thought, the chili tree is just like, perhaps, 1 feet or 2 feet tall. Not knowing that, in the end, when I really embarked into the farm, it's actually much, higher than what I can imagine. So that's how I earn my pocket money. Because when I asked my dad for money, my dad would say that whatever you want, that you just earn it on your own. So I remember I bought a radio. That's my first, desired gift, and the second one is a bicycle. And but partly because my family is poor. So whatever money that I earn is not mine. To me, it belongs to my parents. So even like coming to time also, I dare not see time being wasted. Yeah, because time is very precious. Like my primary school days and for my secondary school days, the weekends are spent in farms and in estates, earning so-called pocket money. So, and my dad's words to me are commands. Whether I like it or not, it's a command. So I was actually brought up in Malaysia, even though I was born in Singapore. Okay, because in the past, during those days when mothers came to Singapore in and out, there's no need for a passport.
Yeah, so I believe your background and your upbringing has got a big impact on your life and how you view life and the world.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I have to tell the story that after that, you know, it was my dad's command that I leave Malaysia for Singapore. Okay, because I couldn't get my nationality recognized in Malaysia. I mean, to me, it's a very painful decision because in Malaysia, you know, it's a place where I like very much. I like trees, I like mountains, and that's where, you know, my parents, my siblings, my relatives, my classmates, my neighbors, you know, every of my loved ones. And in Singapore, I only have one distant relative, and I've not been seeing them for a long time because of my passport issue. I do not have a passport to enable me to come to Singapore. So I only spent the first few years of my life with them. So suddenly I have to come and live with them. So to me, it's a very big struggle. And I enjoy my work in Malaysia very much. You know, that's the happiest working place that I have in Massachusetts. You know, where I really love my working colleagues. Alright, but my dad said I have to come to Singapore, I have to come. So finally, when I came here, I realized very soon I settled down because I'm the type, you know, whom I yearn for a family. I cannot be detached from family. For me, family is always very important. I like a home, you know. So very soon, I mean, I established a home, but not knowing that to me is even for a family, even how I choose, you know, even my spouse also is also based on, you know, what I need to do for my family, you know, because I mean I came from a very poor family, so I need to support, you know, at least I need to see through one of my younger brother for education, so I need to provide that for my own family. So to me, my marriage is always, you know, not so important as my obligation because I didn't carry that, you know, I didn't put that down, you see. Then I mean, to cut story short, when coming to my own children, I have that kind of expectation. I kind of expect them to be like me, you see, and especially for the eldest. I think I put quite a lot of strain on her because after that, when I brought her up, I find that you know that she's not exactly like me. I mean, I overlook, you know, the fact that she is an individual. She has her own character, she has her own thinking. Well, I mean, in some way, she may be, you know, having the same values as me, such as like she also loves, you know, her own siblings very much. But coming to perceptions, you know, and our way of doing things, you know, I should say that that it is very different.
Do you have any instances whereby your relationship with your children, especially the girls, your older girl, wasn't that as imagined?
Yeah, I would say so. Because like, okay, like for me, you know, during their younger days, whatever that I missed out, or whatever that I wanted to do very much, but I don't have, you know, that kind of opportunity to do, I will want to kind of like to compensate on her. Okay, one of this is I will tell my children, okay, you don't have to help me to do housework because for the first, you know, I mean early years of their life, I told them, I say, because that time I'm not working, so I say, you know, don't worry about housework. Well, I will do the housework and your responsibility is to study. And the reason why I have that kind of thinking, or why I instilled that, was that, you know, during my younger days, I mean, I love to study. I really wanted to study, but you see, weekend days is already spent on farms and estate, all right? And also my mom is also working, so being the eldest in the family, when I come home, I can't study if the house is in a mess. I may have to do housework, and also night time I have to help my mom to prepare dinner. And by the time when I can really look at books is the time when I'm very tired, you see. So in the primary school years and in my early secondary school years, I can still fare. But after that, you know, coming to the end of secondary, I find that, you know, I mean, where the homework, where the volume of work is also picking up, I find that it's a bit difficult for me to cope. So I don't want my children to have that kind of worry. You know, to me, it's always studies first. And also at that point of time, I came to know a neighbor, and this neighbor also has children of my children's age. In fact, it's younger. And I mean, when she come to me, she will remind me that, oh, you know, that you have to, you know, that your children's studies have to be at this level, you know, because even for her younger children, you know, they can do even better than my children. Because at first I didn't really push them.